3D solutions for entertainment, automotive, technology, simulation companies, pretty much anyone. I integrate pretty much all the different technologies that I can find and just make solutions that consumers or either salesmen or whoever can use to enable their work. My goal is to save people 72 trillion hours of developing SaaS tools that basically enable them to work more efficiently. Because there's a huge digital scale gap that we're all, I'm sure, aware of. This technology is very advanced. There's a lot of things to uncover, and it's becoming more ubiquitous. And so it's really difficult for, say, someone who's just starting off, like learning GOTF, to then move on to more advanced concepts, right? And so what we're trying to do at Glossy is really address that. And so to put scale to that problem, 4 out of 5 people in their own work that use software in their work daily don't feel confident in using that software, right? They 50% of the time they have to ask someone else for help. And that usually ends up being either your colleague or IT. So let's think about what those problems are, right? Oh, sorry. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, sorry. Grab it. Yeah, I'll grab it. Yeah. So you got that last slide. That's good. Great. So 3D adoption is still pretty early, as we've noted, right? You're still like a lot of companies are spending a lot of money innovating and trying to use 3D to speed up, design the market workflows, right? But it's still pretty early. From what I can see, manufacturing is like super far with 3D printing and other things. But this is just, what I know. I'm still new in my my journey in 3D. And so what are those problems? What are those problems in the digital scale gap? Those are being able to track your files, which is why I asked that question to you, Jonathan. Being able to open your files in the right application, the right device, based on the resources that are required for that. And a lot of people actually report using 10 to 20 different pieces of software to do their job daily, which is a pretty big killer productivity. And so there's different solutions that different founders are taking, right? So we have Mudstack that makes managing 3D files way easier than like Perforce or like Git or like SVN, right? Which engineers are very used to. It makes it a very visual process. Rapid Pipeline, right? Preps 3D files for the specific use case. And if you've worked with 3D files, it can be very hairy. And Glossy, what we're trying to do is bring all these innovative solutions, bring all these different technologies that are pretty dispersed, and create one product experience, which is what has resonated with our customers. So Glossy democratizes 3D content creation, right? It's very simple. You upload a 3D model, you set up your scene, check your lighting, do some product animations, right? And you just hit export. There's no worry about, opening Blender or, do I have the right hardware? Do I have the right knowledge set? We make that very streamlined. So just sort of reiterating that, right? We boost productivity by making everything run in the browser, and we do that through application streaming or pixel streaming. And we also have a lot of control over the scene, so you can change the lighting in a lot of different ways. You can control the product animation. You can also do camera animation. And we're going to do a lot more in the future, but it's really about trying to find ways to simplify the process of creating 3D content. And so here are the content that we've created so far. We've worked with a few different teams. I could name some later if you have any questions. But people have used us for like design reviews. People have used us for previs. People have used us to feed their Gen AI workflow, right? Because that's Stable Diffusion and the node-based workflows that are going on are pretty crazy. And use this a lot for like PDP pages, right? And so the most common, or not, I would say the most common role that we're seeing so far are executive roles. So these are people who say have like this single hero product. They're working on the next toothbrush, like floss, if you've ever heard of that. It's like this mechanical flosser, right? But it's like their only product. And so they have a product design team and all that, but they need to be able to generate content constantly because of this new social enabled environment. We also have product designers. Product designers, they know how to use SolidWorks. They know how to use Max. They know how to use these other high-end, more computer-aided engineering tools, right? Or CAD tools. And they don't want to learn Blender. They don't want to learn some other tool that might make it easier for them to render, right? Because they already know so much. They're like, I don't got time for that. So we really enable them to capitalize on their skills that they already have in an experience that is very simplified. And the last one is the graphic designers. So the graphic designers often are people who are very comfortable using multiple software. They use Canva or they use Stable Diffusion or whatever the case. But they're already paying for Adobe. They're like, I don't want another subscription. I don't want to pay for Keyshot, And so they use us because our subscription is a lot lower, of course, and we just make it a lot easier for them to pick up and go. And so the way that I see Glossy, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, but I'm head of development at Glossy, so I'm responsible for all the technology. And so the way I see Glossy is we're integrating all the innovations that we can find into one product experience. This makes it easier for the average Joe or smaller teams to get access to those more complicated tools or be able to use their CAD files on the web and like render that easily, right? Without having to hire a marketing agency or have a full 3D team, right? And we produce all these different outputs for them. And so this is very future facing. Like right now, we just focus on images and video. But if we're allowing people to essentially compose scenes, what's to say that we can't, what's to say that we couldn't allow them to export full 3D scenes? So they go into an environment, they place their product, they come up with some animations. Maybe we introduce interactions, similar to if you've heard of Jigspace, very great software. We're trying to go in that direction where there's a very simple, high-level tool that allows you to use those, allow you to capitalize on these new innovations within 3D. And that's basically my thought.